Welcome back, everyone. Today we're going deep
Oh,
into
yeah.
the fascinating connection between history and
I
science.
love this stuff.
You've sent over a script that digs into how these two fields have always been intertwined.
Constantly shaping and influencing each other.
Yeah, shaping and influencing each other constantly.
Absolutely.
It's going to be a fascinating journey through time, and I can't wait to explore it with you
Let's do it.
and our expert.
Well, I'm excited to delve into this too.
Yeah.
It's easy to think of history and science as separate subjects.
Right.
But the more we understand their intertwined nature,
Yeah.
the better equipped we are to understand not just the past, but the present and the future too.
Absolutely. So this script takes us way back to the ancient world.
Okay.
We're talking about civilizations like the Babylonians with their advanced mathematics,
Right.
the Egyptians with their incredible feats of engineering like the pyramids,
Yeah, those are amazing
and of course the Greeks who were busy theorizing about,
about everything.
well, practically everything. It makes you wonder, how did these early civilizations spark the scientific flame that we know today?
That's a great question.
Yeah.
And it's crucial to understand that these ancient achievements weren't just isolated bursts of genius.
Right.
They laid the very foundation for scientific thought as we know it.
Yeah.
For example, during the Renaissance,
So.
there was a rediscovery of Greek and Roman texts.
Oh, wow.
And it was like hitting the refresh button on scientific inquiry.
It was like finding a lost treasure chest of knowledge, right?
Exactly.
Wow.
This rediscovery of ancient knowledge fueled a period of intense intellectual and artistic growth known as the Age of Enlightenment.
The Age of Enlightenment.
It was a time when reason and observation began to challenge traditional ways of thinking, leading to a surge of new discoveries across various fields.
So those Renaissance thinkers were essentially building upon the work of ancient scholars,
Uh,
almost like they were picking up a conversation that had been paused for centuries.
that's a fantastic way to put it. And this connection between past and present becomes even more striking when we move into the scientific revolution.
Okay, the scientific revolution.
Figures like Galileo and Newton
Right.
weren't just making groundbreaking discoveries.
Uh-huh.
They were challenging the very core of existing worldviews.
I've always been fascinated by Galileo.
Oh, yeah.
He was so far ahead of his time.
He truly was.
Mm-hmm.
His work with the telescope revolutionized our understanding of the cosmos.
Wow.
He directly challenged the prevailing geocentric model,
Okay.
which placed the Earth at the center of the universe.
Right.
By observing the moons of Jupiter, he provided compelling evidence for the heliocentric model,
Yeah.
with the sun at the center.
It must have been mind-blowing at the time to see that shift in perspective.
Absolutely. Imagine the world believing one thing for centuries,
Yeah.
and suddenly
Boom.
there's concrete evidence that challenges that belief.
Wow.
That's the power of scientific observation in the heart of the scientific revolution.
And it wasn't just about astronomy either.
Nope.
Uh-huh.
Newton completely transformed our understanding of physics.
Precisely. Newton's laws of motion and universal gravitation provided a mathematical framework for understanding the physical world around us.
Wow.
Before Newton, people explained motion through philosophical argument,
Oh, really?
but Newton's work introduced a rigorous mathematical system that could predict and explain everything from the falling of an apple to the movement of planets.
It's amazing to think that these figures from centuries ago still have such a profound impact on science today.
It really highlights how history helps us understand the trajectory of scientific progress.
Yeah.
Each discovery,
Uh,
each new theory, builds upon what came before it.
so we're constantly building.
It's like constructing a grand intellectual edifice,
Okay,
with each generation adding new layers of understanding.
that's a great analogy.
Thanks.
So we've seen how ancient knowledge sparked a flame that ignited the scientific revolution.
Right.
Where does this journey take us next?
Well, building upon these scientific breakthroughs.
We see their tangible impact during the Industrial Revolution.
Industrial Revolution.
This is where science truly reshaped the world, for better and for worse.
Yeah.
Think about it. Steam engines chugging,
Oh, yeah.
factories buzzing,
Huh.
a world rapidly changing before people's eyes.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Wasn't the Industrial Revolution more about practical inventions and engineering than pure scientific breakthroughs?
That's a good point.
Okay.
And it's where things get really interesting.
Oh, really?
The Industrial Revolution was fueled by a convergence of scientific knowledge and practical ingenuity.
I see.
For example, the invention of the steam engine wouldn't have been possible without a deep understanding of thermodynamics,
Mm-hmm.
a branch of physics that was rapidly developing during this period.
Okay.
And the advancements in textile production were directly linked to breakthroughs in chemistry and material science.
So it was like science was being translated into real-world applications on a massive scale.
Okay.
But the script also mentions a darker side to this rapid progress.
You're right.
Okay.
It's crucial to remember that scientific progress doesn't occur in a vacuum.
Uh-huh.
The Industrial Revolution had a profound impact on society,
Right.
bringing about innovations in engineering, medicine, and chemistry,
Yeah.
which in turn affected economies,
Wow.
politics,
Uh-huh.
and even social structures.
So everything changed.
While we saw life-saving vaccines and increased production of goods,
Okay.
it also led to the exploitation of workers and environmental consequences.
It seems like every major leap forward comes with its own set of challenges.
That's a keen observation,
Okay.
and it leads us to an important point.
What's that?
As we delve deeper into this journey through history and science,
Mhm.
we'll see that progress is rarely a smooth or purely positive ride.
I see.
The Industrial Revolution serves as a potent example of that dynamic interplay between science,
Yeah.
history,
Uh-huh.
and the ever-evolving landscape of societal change.
It feels like we're already starting to see a pattern here. So where do we go from the massive shifts of the Industrial Revolution?
Fasten your seatbelts because the 20th century is a whirlwind.
Oh, boy.
We've got Einstein's theories of relativity,
Mm-hmm.
the unraveling of DNA's secrets,
Okay.
space exploration,
Wow.
and of course the development of the atomic bomb.
Oh, right.
It's a century of incredible highs
Yeah.
and some truly terrifying lows.
The atomic bomb is a stark reminder of the power of scientific discovery,
Yes.
but it's also a chilling example of how that power can be misused.
Right.
What can we learn from this period?
The 20th century really underscores the ethical dilemmas that emerge alongside powerful scientific advancements. The development of nuclear weapons wasn't just a scientific achievement.
Right.
It was a historical turning point that forced humanity to confront the potential consequences of its own ingenuity.
The atomic bomb wasn't just a product of scientific equations. It was
Right.
also a product of the political and social context of the time, the
Uh-huh.
world wars, the fear and tension that gripped nations.
You've hit the nail on the head.
Wow.
It's a potent example of how history informs our understanding of the potential consequences of scientific progress.
Yeah.
We can't separate scientific discoveries from the historical context in which they occur.
It sounds like we're starting to move from a simple timeline of discoveries to a more complex understanding of how history and science are truly interwoven.
Exactly.
Wow.
And it's getting even more fascinating as we move into the present day and look at the challenges we face now.
I'm ready.
All right,
Let's dive into the 21st century.
great. But before we do that, let's pause here for a moment.
Okay.
What are your initial takeaways from our journey so far?
Okay, let me think.
What's resonating with you the most?
Well, for me, what stands out is how even the earliest scientific endeavors have had a lasting impact on our understanding of the world.
Uh-huh.
It's incredible how the echoes of ancient knowledge can be heard in the discoveries of today.
I completely agree. It's like we're part of this long chain of knowledge seekers,
Yeah.
each generation building upon the foundations laid by those who came before.
Wow.
And with that thought in mind,
Okay.
let's step into the present day.
And what a present it is. Climate change, artificial intelligence, genetic engineering. It feels like we're standing at the edge of a whole new era of both promise and peril.
Right.
Where do we even begin?
You're right. The challenges we face today are immense,
Yeah.
but they're also deeply connected to the historical and scientific journey we've been discussing.
Uh-huh.
Let's start with climate change.
Okay, climate change.
It's a topic that's constantly in the news, and for good reason.
Yeah.
But what does history have to teach us about this current crisis?
That's a good question.
That's where it gets really interesting.
Oh, really?
You see, understanding past environmental changes can actually guide our response to the current climate challenge.
Okay.
By studying how Earth's systems have responded to shocks in the past,
Yeah.
we can gain valuable insights into potential future scenarios.
It's like having a roadmap of sorts,
Right.
but one that shows us the potential pitfalls as well as the paths to progress, right?
Exactly.
Wow.
And this is where history and science truly converge.
Okay.
We can use historical data on climate fluctuations,
Uh-huh.
combined with our current scientific understanding of atmospheric chemistry and global systems,
Right.
to model potential future scenarios.
I see.
These models can help us understand the potential consequences of inaction and guide our efforts to mitigate climate change.
So it's not just about reducing emissions.
Right.
It's about using our knowledge of the past to inform our actions in the present and shape a more sustainable future.
Precisely. And this approach isn't limited to climate change.
Okay.
It applies to many of the challenges we face today, including the rise of artificial intelligence.
Speaking of AI, it's everywhere these days.
It is.
From self-driving cars to algorithms that seem to know us better than we know ourselves.
Crazy.
It's both fascinating and a little bit frightening.
Yeah.
What can we learn from history as we navigate this rapidly evolving technological landscape?
That's a great question.
Yeah.
And it brings us to a crucial point.
Okay.
We can't just focus on the technological advancements themselves.
Right.
We also need to consider the ethical implications.
Uh-huh.
And that's where history can provide invaluable insights.
Give me an example.
Sure.
How can history help us understand the ethics of AI?
Think about the development of the internet.
Okay, the internet.
It started as a tool for research and communication, but quickly evolved into a global network with profound social, economic, and political implications.
Wow.
We didn't always anticipate or fully understand these implications as the technology was developing.
So are you saying we should be cautious about how we develop and deploy AI?
Yes.
Learning from the lessons of the past?
We need to be mindful of potential biases in algorithms,
Okay.
the impact of automation on jobs, and the ethical considerations of delegating decision-making power to machines.
It's a lot to think about.
History can provide a lens through which we can examine these issues more critically and proactively.
It's starting to feel like history isn't just a subject we study in school.
Right.
It's a living, breathing guidebook for navigating the present and the future.
That's a powerful way to put it.
Wow.
And it brings us to a really big question that the script highlights.
Okay, what is it?
How can we, as individuals and as a society, use historical knowledge to ensure that technological advances like artificial intelligence truly benefit all of humanity?
It's a question with no easy answers.
No, it's not.
But it's definitely one worth pondering.
Absolutely.
So how do we even begin to tackle such a complex question?
That's where our deep dive continues.
Okay.
But for now, let's take a short break.
All right, a break it is.
When we return, we'll explore how the lessons of the past can guide us toward a more just and sustainable future.
I'm already eager to hear what you have to say. And to all of you listening, don't go anywhere.
We'll be back soon.
We'll be right back with part 2 of our deep dive into history and science. Welcome back to our deep dive into the fascinating world where history and science collide.
Yeah, it's really cool stuff.
Before the break, we were talking about how understanding the past can help us navigate the ethical challenges of the present,
Right.
especially when it comes to powerful technologies like artificial intelligence.
Such a powerful tool.
And it's not just about avoiding past mistakes.
Right.
It's also about recognizing the patterns of progress,
Right.
the ways in which human ingenuity has tackled challenges throughout history.
Yeah, like how we've overcome stuff before.
It's about harnessing that collective wisdom to shape a better future.
Exactly.
It's almost like we're standing on the shoulders of giants, looking out at a vast landscape of possibilities.
Yeah, I like that.
But it can also feel a bit overwhelming, right?
It can be a bit much.
With so much potential and so many unknowns, how do we make sure we're heading in the right direction?
That's where the script gets really insightful.
Okay, what does it say?
It ends with a powerful image.
Ooh,
A futuristic city model designed with green technology.
cool.
It's not just about technological advancement.
Right.
It's about integrating those advancements with sustainability and a vision for a future that benefits everyone.
I love that image.
Yeah.
It's like a reminder that we have the power to create the future we want.
Yeah.
A future where technological progress goes hand in hand with social and environmental responsibility.
Exactly. It's a call to action,
Okay.
urging us to consider how we can use our knowledge, ingenuity, and collective will to build a world that's not just technologically advanced, but also just and sustainable.
It makes me think about all the amazing things that are possible when we combine the lessons of history with the innovations of the present.
Right.
I mean, look at the progress we've made in medicine.
Yeah. Medicine's come a long way.
We've gone from rudimentary treatments to gene therapies and personalized medicine.
Wow.
All thanks to centuries of scientific discovery and the tireless efforts of countless researchers.
It's truly remarkable.
Yeah, it is.
But it's important to remember that progress isn't always linear or without its challenges.
Right.
There will be setbacks,
Yeah.
ethical dilemmas, and unforeseen consequences along the way.
So true.
That's the nature of scientific exploration in human history.
So how do we deal with that?
The key is to learn from those challenges,
Okay.
to adapt and evolve our approaches as we go.
So how do we navigate those complexities?
That's the big question.
What can we do as individuals to make sure we're using knowledge and technology responsibly? I mean, it's easy to feel like these big global challenges are beyond our control.
That's a question that deserves careful consideration.
Yeah.
And I think it starts with cultivating a sense of informed curiosity.
Informed curiosity.
Engage with the ideas presented in the script. Delve deeper into the historical events and scientific discoveries that have shaped our world.
Right.
And don't be afraid to ask critical questions.
I love that informed curiosity. It's
Yeah.
like having that thirst for knowledge, but also being aware of the potential impacts of that knowledge.
Right.
How can we apply this informed curiosity to our daily lives? Give us some practical steps.
Absolutely. Start by being a more conscious consumer of information.
Okay, so be more aware.
Question the sources you encounter. Consider different perspectives.
Right.
And be wary of simplistic solutions to complex problems.
Okay, I see.
Look for the historical context behind current events,
Okay.
the scientific principles underlying technological innovations, and the ethical dilemmas lurking beneath the surface of progress.
So it's not just about absorbing information.
Nope.
It's about actively engaging with it,
Yeah.
critically evaluating it,
Wow.
and thinking about its broader implications.
Exactly.
Wow.
And as you continue to explore these topics, consider the interconnectedness of history and science.
Yeah.
How have past events influenced scientific progress?
Right.
How have scientific discoveries reshaped our understanding of history?
Yeah.
And most importantly,
Yeah.
how can we use those insights to create a more just and sustainable future?
It's like we're all detectives,
Yeah.
piecing together clues from the past to solve the mysteries of the present and chart a course for the future.
And don't underestimate the power of sharing those insights with others.
Okay, so talk about it.
Discuss these ideas with friends, family, and colleagues.
Right.
Engage in thoughtful debate.
Okay.
Challenge assumptions.
Right.
And consider different perspectives.
I like it.
The more we engage in these conversations,
Yeah.
the better equipped we'll be to make informed decisions about the future we want to create.
So it's not just about individual learning.
Okay.
It's about collective understanding and action.
Right.
It's about using our voices and our actions to shape the future we want to see.
Precisely. The future isn't something that happens to us.
Right.
It's something we actively create.
We're in control.
And that creation process involves not only scientific breakthroughs,
Okay.
but also ethical considerations,
Yeah.
social responsibility, and a deep understanding of the historical context in which we operate.
This whole conversation reminds me of a quote I read recently.
Oh, yeah.
Something about how the only thing we learn from history is that we learn nothing from history.
I've heard that one.
But it feels like we're trying to do the opposite here, right?
We are.
We're actively seeking out the lessons of the past to guide our present and future choices.
You've captured the essence of it perfectly.
Wow.
We're challenging that cynical notion that history is doomed to repeat itself.
Right.
We're embracing the idea that by understanding the past, we can empower ourselves to create a different
Yeah.
and hopefully better future.
Well, right. It's both daunting and inspiring.
It is.
This responsibility we have to shape the future. It's like we're holding a torch passed down through generations.
Yeah.
And it's our duty to keep that flame of progress burning brightly while also being mindful of where we're stepping.
I love that analogy.
Thanks.
It captures the delicate balance between honoring the past, embracing the present,
Yeah.
and shaping the future.
Right.
And it brings us back to that image of the futuristic city model,
Okay.
a reminder that the future isn't predetermined.
Yeah.
It's a canvas waiting for us to paint our vision of a better world.
I'm starting to see how history and science aren't just subjects we study. They're lenses through which we can view the world.
Right.
Tools we can use to understand our place in the grand narrative of human progress.
Yeah.
And compasses that can guide us toward a future that reflects our shared values and aspirations.
You've articulated it
Yeah.
beautifully.
Wow.
It's about recognizing that we're not just passive observers in this grand narrative of history and science.
Right.
We're active participants.
Yeah.
And the choices we make today, no matter how small they may seem,
Yeah.
will have a ripple effect for generations to come.
So what are some practical ways we can use this knowledge?
Yeah, good question.
This understanding of the interconnectedness of history and science
Oh,
to make a difference in the world.
okay, so like what can we actually do?
I mean, it's easy to feel overwhelmed by the scale of the challenges we
You're
face.
right, it's easy to feel overwhelmed.
Yeah.
But remember, even small actions can have a big impact.
Okay, like what?
Start by educating yourself,
Uh-huh.
staying informed about the issues that matter to you,
Okay,
support organizations and initiatives that align with your values,
that makes sense. What else can we do?
engage in conversations with people who hold different viewpoints,
Oh, okay.
challenge your own assumptions, and be open to learning from others.
I like that.
And most importantly, never underestimate the power of your own voice and your own actions to create positive change.
I'm starting to feel a sense of hope here, a sense that we're not powerless in the face of these challenges. We
Okay.
have the knowledge, the
Mhm.
tools,
Yeah.
and the collective will to create a better future.
Absolutely.
But we have to act,
Right.
and we have to act now.
You've hit the nail on the head.
Wow.
The future is not something that just happens to us.
Yeah,
It's something we create.
right.
And that creation process starts with each one of us,
All right.
with our choices,
Uh-huh.
our actions,
Right.
and our unwavering commitment
Mm.
to building a world that reflects the best of humanity.
This has been an incredible journey so far,
It is.
and I'm eager to hear more about how we can turn this knowledge into action.
Yeah, me too.
But first, we need to take a quick break.
Okay.
We'll be back in a moment to wrap things up and discuss some key takeaways from our deep dive into the world where history and science collide.
See you in a few.
Don't go anywhere. Welcome back to the deep dive. It's amazing how quickly the time flies when you're exploring the vast and intricate tapestry of history and science.
Right.
Before the break, we were discussing the power of informed curiosity and the importance of recognizing that we're not just passive bystanders in the unfolding story of human progress.
We got to be active.
We're active participants.
Yeah.
And the choices we make today
Huh.
will shape the world of tomorrow.
That's a powerful realization, isn't it?
It is.
It's both humbling and empowering to recognize that we have a role to play in shaping the future,
Right.
and that even small actions can create ripples that extend far beyond our immediate sphere of influence.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It reminds me of the butterfly effect.
Oh, the butterfly effect.
The idea that a small change in one part of the system can have a huge impact on another part.
Right.
But in this case, it's not just about random chance.
No,
It's about conscious choices and deliberate actions.
precisely.
Wow.
And that brings us back to the script you provided, which does a fantastic job of highlighting not only the interconnectedness of history and science, but also the agency we have as individuals and as a society to shape the future.
It's like the script is saying, hey, we've learned a lot from the past.
Yeah.
We have these incredible scientific tools at our disposal.
Right.
Now what are we going to do with it all?
Exactly.
It's a call to action,
Yeah.
a challenge to use our knowledge and ingenuity to create a world that's not just technologically advanced, but also just and sustainable.
And it's a challenge that requires us to think critically,
Okay.
to question assumptions,
Right.
and to be willing to engage in constructive dialogue with those who hold different viewpoints.
I like that.
It's about recognizing that there are multiple perspectives on complex issues,
Yeah.
and that finding solutions requires collaboration, empathy,
Right.
and a willingness to listen to and learn from each other.
It sounds like you're advocating for a kind of intellectual humility,
Yeah, you could say that.
a recognition that we don't have all the answers, and that we need to be open to new ideas and different ways of thinking.
Exactly. It's about embracing the unknown, the
Yeah.
ambiguity, and the complexity of the world around us.
Yeah, the world's a complex place.
It's about being comfortable with uncertainty and being willing to adapt our approaches as we learn and grow.
So, in a way, this whole conversation about history and science is also a conversation about how we learn, how we adapt, and how we evolve our thinking over time.
How we change.
It's about being lifelong learners,
Right.
constantly seeking out new knowledge and refining our understanding of the world.
Beautifully put.
Thanks.
And it's about recognizing that this journey of learning and discovery isn't a solitary pursuit.
Oh, really?
It's a collective endeavor.
I see.
We learn from each other, we build upon each other's ideas, and we inspire each other to reach for new heights of understanding.
It makes me think of all the incredible collaborations that have taken place throughout history.
Oh, yeah. Like what?
Scientists from different countries, different backgrounds, different disciplines,
Yeah.
coming together to solve complex problems and advance our understanding of the universe.
Think about the Manhattan Project, for example.
Your Manhattan Project.
It brought together some of the brightest minds from around the world to work on a project with immense implications for humanity.
The Manhattan Project is a powerful example of how collaboration can lead to groundbreaking discoveries.
It is.
But it also serves as a stark reminder of the ethical complexities that can arise from scientific advancements.
Exactly. It highlights the importance of considering not only the scientific and technological aspects of our work,
Right.
but also the social, ethical, and humanistic dimensions.
Yeah, all of it.
We need to ask ourselves, not only can we do this,
Yeah.
but also should we do this?
Right.
And what are the potential consequences of our actions?
It's like we need to develop a kind of ethical foresight, a way of anticipating and mitigating the potential negative consequences of our actions before they occur.
And that's where the study of history can be incredibly valuable.
History can help.
By looking at past events,
Uh-huh.
we can identify patterns,
Right.
understand how decisions were made,
Yeah.
and learn from the mistakes of those who came before us.
So we don't repeat them.
History provides us with a rich tapestry of case studies,
Okay.
cautionary tales,
Yeah.
and inspiring examples of human ingenuity and resilience.
This whole conversation has really shifted my perspective.
Oh, yeah.
I used to think of history as something that happened in the past,
Uh-huh.
a collection of dates and events that had little relevance to my life.
Yeah, I used to think that too.
But now I'm starting to see it as a living, breathing guidebook for navigating the present and shaping the future.
I'm so glad to hear that.
Yeah, it's really cool.
And it's not just about learning from the past.
Right.
It's also about recognizing that we're creating history every day with our actions, our choices,
Yeah.
and the contributions we make to the world.
So, to bring it back to the script, that futuristic city model isn't just a pretty picture, it's
Yeah.
a challenge.
Challenge to what?
A challenge to use our knowledge,
Okay.
our ingenuity, and our collective will to build a better world. A world that's both technologically advanced and ethically sound.
Precisely. It's a reminder that the future is not predetermined.
Right.
It's something we actively create through our choices and actions.
Yeah, we're in the driver's seat.
And that creation process involves not only scientific breakthroughs, but also ethical considerations,
Yeah.
social responsibility,
Uh-huh.
and a deep understanding of the historical context in which we operate.
And that's what makes this deep dive so exciting.
I know, it's so cool.
It's not just about looking back at history or marveling at scientific discoveries.
Right.
It's about understanding how those things connect and using that knowledge to shape a better future.
It's about recognizing that we're not just passive observers in this grand narrative of history and science.
Right.
We're active participants.
Yeah.
And the choices we make today will have a ripple effect for generations to come.
It's a lot of responsibility,
It is.
but it's also incredibly empowering.
Yeah.
It means that we each have a role to play in shaping the future, and that even small actions can make a difference.
And as you continue to explore the intersection of history and science,
Yeah.
I encourage you to keep that sense of agency in mind.
Okay, I will.
Don't just absorb information.
Uh-huh.
Question it,
Right.
analyze it,
Okay.
and apply it to the challenges we face today.
So to wrap things up, I want to thank you for joining us on this incredible deep dive into the intertwined worlds of history and science.
It's been fun.
It's been a real eye-opener for me, and I hope you've walked away with some new insights and a renewed sense of curiosity.
And remember, the journey doesn't end here.
It doesn't.
Keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep pushing the boundaries of what's possible.
Love it.
The future is waiting to be written.
Uh-huh.